What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys. Well, at least I hope I do. Last time I tried to do Dead Space on this and my main computer, it wouldn't load. Kept having DirectX problems and video card just disappearing according to what the error said. It was pretty much like, hey, we don't know what happened to your GPU. It just was like, hey, I'm gone, peace. And I know I was playing Diablo 4 last night for a long time on my main computer. So I don't think either one is messed up. I think probably the latest driver that came out probably just does something for that game or something. Because I even beat Dead Space on my main computer, maxed out. And yeah, it had some stutters and whatnot, but I beat it and it didn't crash at all. So I don't know what's up its butt now, but hopefully the Callisto Protocol will work fine. It actually ran quite smooth and nice on the laptop now compared to how it ran when it first came out. So it's actually surprising. So far, it's a better running game than Dead Space Remake. Though Dead Space Remake is a way cooler game and way better game as far as gameplay and story and all that goes. But that's another whole story. So before we hop into the game, or at least try to, let's go over the specs extremely quick. We got a 5800X 3D that is undervolted by -25 on all cores with that PBO2 tuner. We've got a 3090 that's overclocked, 70 on the core, 420 on the memory. Then we've got a AsRock X570 Taichi motherboard with 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. It's 3600 and it's CL14 and dual rank. Then we got ourselves a all-in-one EK all-in-one basic cooling that CPU. Then we have a 1000 watt PSU powering the whole thing. It's a Corsair RM1000 to be precise. Then to finish this up before we hop into the game, we got ourselves what everyone stares at as they game, the monitor, which is an Alienware ultra wide. It's 34 inches. It's an IPS panel. It's got G.Sync but no FreeSync, and it doesn't have HDR either. 120 hertz and pretty nice. So it's not the greatest, not the worst. I'd say I'd place it at the top of mid-range to the bottom of high-end. That's where I would put this thing right now. That's just me though. Anyway though, enough of all this. Now why don't we go ahead and hop into the game, look at some settings, and get some gameplay. Let's have a quick look at the settings here before jumping into the game here on the secondary computer. So we're on DirectX 12 mode, of course, at ultra-wide resolution and full screen. Here, we're pretty much maxing this game out. I'm just turning off some nonsense like motion blur and film grain and shit like that I do not like. But we got anything on. So now let's go into the advanced tab here. No upscaling of any kind, so that means we're at the 100% render percentage. And that's about it. So now that we got that out of the way, let's go hop in the game. Starting off on our ship here, and we're already dropping down to 58, 59 FPS, so that is not a good start. Because I have a feeling that the prison is harder to run than the ship. But as you can see, there are times where we can get a little bit above 60 indeed. It's that ray tracing though. I kind of just turned it on for fun. I kind of knew that before ray tracing was really stuttery and just terrible, so I kind of wanted to see if it still was really stuttery and terrible.
We're docked at Callisto hangar. Confine the quarters while they load the cargo.
And I believed it even did that on my main computer, so I did play the game like maxed out besides ray tracing on my main computer, because I just didn't like all the stutter that it made. And I think it's way worse once you get to the freaking prison. I don't think it's as bad on the ship. But we'll see. We're still just barely above 60 down here. But we already saw it drop a little, so we can't say, oh, it stayed above 60 the whole time. It already dropped a couple of times already down to 58 and 59, so... Yep, there we go, another 58, 59. Down to 51, 48, shit. It was just for a second, but it still counts. That's about what the Asus G15 Advantage did at 1440p. It dropped to about that, although it didn't have ray tracing on. And it didn't drop there. It dropped to that, I believe, at the very end, right as I was shutting the door on those people chasing me. Well, you'll see what I mean later when we get to that part. It seems like this wants 9.3 gigs of VRAM.
I guess I'll check the other side.
Well, we do have ray tracing on and stuff, so that definitely sucks up some more VRAM, that's for sure. And we're using 15 gigs of RAM. Damn. I think we're starting to get pretty close to that part where 16 is like for budgets now, and 8 gigs is just not going to cut it, even for RAM. Not for VRAM and not for RAM. Hell, my 32 that I've got on all my shit is pretty much going to be the new 16. I'm gonna have to upgrade to fucking 64 gigs or whatever. They got some weird new RAM things where you can get like 48 gigs of RAM and so on and so forth now. So that's interesting. Might go with one of those kits. We'll get like an 8000 series kit for my Intel thing over here and see if that gets me a little better performance. Of course I would, you know, tighten the timings again too. But that's if my 1300KF's memory controller would even allow me to hit 8000 on DDR5.
Dampening field still in effect.
Not for long. What do they want? How should I know?
Haha, screw you guys.
Anything?
You'll never catch me.
Almost out of time.
Not now, not ever. And now we run. Not when we dropped all the way down to 47.52. Shit.
Heading for the bridge. What are you gonna do? Whatever I have to.
Not great. But now let's move on to the prison. Now here we are in the prison, pretty much at the beginning, and we're already at 48 FPS. So, like I thought, the prison is definitely harder to run than the ship. But let's see what the frame's like, you know, just for the rest of this. I would automatically just turn ray tracing off and would probably get a flawless experience, no problem. But I wanted to be difficult and see, like, really push it to the limits and see if the ray tracing was fixed. But I don't think it really has to do with it being fixed. I think it's just too hard for this thing to run it. The 3090 is powerful, but it's already not the most powerful GPU out by a fair margin now. There's lots of GPUs more powerful than it now. I think there's at least, what, 6 or 7 now? But that doesn't make it like a pile of crap or anything. You just have to be reasonable with it. And I guess running this game maxed out at ultra-wide with ray tracing just is not reasonable. But hey, now we know. So just turn that off and I can almost guarantee you'd have a flawless experience. I don't want to say that because I didn't test it, but if we're getting this close to a 60 FPS experience with ray tracing on, we definitely would be at it without it. But this is the kind of game that still might stutter and whatnot and drop every once in a blue moon. Nothing like Dead Space, though. We're not going to drop down to 6 FPS or 12 FPS or anything. At least not that I saw, unless I wasn't paying attention and that shit happened, but usually I got a pretty good eye on that FPS. Like right now, we're only in the 40s. That's not great. Now, some people can play like that, no problem, but I wouldn't want to play on a system like this at 40 FPS. No fucking way. It's 60 FPS for the highway. Sure showed that control panel who's fucking boss. Damn straight. Now we just gotta shimmy our way through this bitch. And then I'm going this way whether I like it or not. And there is no going back. You can't go that way yet. That's not until later. Sure is a lot of crazy shit happening here. Oh, that guy's gonna die. I just saw a thing running into his frickin' cell. I think that's the guy who gets, like, tossed the fuck off. Oh, there he goes. Where will we stop? Nobody knows. But in any case, this is a good spot to stop, so let's move on to camera now. Alright guys, let's get ourselves a tiny bit of camera recorded gameplay now. So let's break our way in here. In we go. No waiting for you. Now off the the railing you go. There we go.
What the fuck was that?
That was some crazy shit is what.
What you doing?
But as you can plainly see, at least if you turn ray tracing on this thing, even this kind of computer can't handle this game maxed out. Though it is still smoother than it was before, I will give it that. But, if you wanted to just stay over 60 all the time, just turn ray tracing all the way off. The game still looks great, and you'll get a pretty damn decent amount of FPS up. In fact, I'll just turn it off right when we get to the end of the video if I remember. Just to show you for a couple of seconds what it's like without ray tracing. Though I don't know if it'll let me even mess with those settings while I'm in the game. I try to do that shit outside the game where I mess with settings. I don't like to just sit in the game and mess with them, you know?
This gate's no good. Console's not responding.
Right there, I just saw something. It attacked me and it didn't seem human.
Not human, he
I know
said.
what I saw.
Look, this place can mess with your head. This is our chance. Whatever it was you saw, it's all the more reason to get out of here. You see
That's a
that
good
watchtower?
point.
Yeah.
That's our first stop. Meet me there.
How?
Elevator's that way. Take it up to the next level. I'll be in touch.
Got it.
I wasn't expecting him to double hit me like that, but at least we took his head off relatively quickly. But anyway, real quick, let's see if it'll let me mess with the options in game and turn those off. Probably not, but it's worth a shot. No. It only lets you change a little bit of stuff, so... Still, just, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. That turning ray tracing off will get you a 60 plus experience, no problem. I mean, even my laptop was almost able to do it. But anyway, let's go wrap this video on up. Well, alright guys, that's a wrap for the Callisto Protocol on the secondary computer. And unfortunately, you can't get over 60 FPS even on a computer like this without either turning ray tracing off or putting some FSR on. And if I got to turn FSR on, I'm just gonna deal with having no ray tracing on in almost every game. That's just me. Now, if I can use DLSS, that's another story. I don't like using that either because that comes with its own problems, but some games, like Cyberpunk, I will do that with. Games that I'll actually turn those technologies on is very few and far and in between. But anyway, we at least saw how it was playing like, and it definitely was an improvement to when it came out. And at least it ran, unlike Dead Space. I don't know what the heck crawled up that game's butt, but I'm glad I beat it already, but kinda sucks I couldn't get the footage I wanted out of it, but hey, that's what happens sometimes. You don't always get to do what you want when you're making videos like I do. But anyway, that is all I got for you guys for this video. It's time to move on to the main computer and see how that does at this game now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.